Well, color me impressed. It's that time of year when Polygon actually releases one decent article. And believe it or not, I was actually going to commend it until I realized, hold on a little bit, this is actually sponsored content. Like you got this massive picture of Ellie, and then as you scroll down, you even have a trailer for The Last of Us. And they even say, The Last of Us is a game with prestige. You just ruined the article. Like, why do you only write articles when it's sponsored content? For those of you who don't know what sponsored content is when they slyly try to push a product onto you. They will make an article like this with something completely different. And when you start reading it, they slyly try to push the envelope. It's like, buy this game. I also love it. It's like, why is it okay for them to say, oh, this is a prestige game? Because most of these people, and I have seen Polygon numerous times, make the argument if someone says, well, this game is shit, like, I don't like Cal Arts, it looks like crap. If someone makes that argument, they will say, what you're saying is completely subjective. And being subjective means it's only your opinion. How can you be objective when measuring games? And it's like, okay, well, how can you be objective by calling something a prestige game? Like, wouldn't that be just your opinion? I mean, Ghost of Tsushima, I can show you objective factors why it's better than The Last of Us. It has a bigger open world, has more interesting game mechanics. It's sold more. It's getting more critical acclaim from the actual consumers, the actual people that buy it. But anyway, like, that's neither here nor there. What I liked about this article is that it's something that I also tackled on a couple of previous videos, and the idea of games not having black and white morality anymore. And you notice this with League of Legends. Like, in the beginning, it had Demacia as the good guys and Noxus as the bad guys. But then when you have people from California joining the companies and the writing team, well, all of a sudden, see, Demacia is not really that good because they're persecuting mages. And they have a hierarchy that's strictly imposed, and their laws have harsh punishments, and they don't have much leeway. And then it's like, well, Noxus is not that evil because, see, while the strong dominate the weak, it's more like the type of thing that breaks hierarchy, and you don't have any more nobles, and you don't have greedy kings, and Darius is actually a good boy, and all of that, and it's like, why can't you just have the good and evil thing? They can't appreciate that. Like it used to be, and I think it's because they don't really know how to write good characters. Like, you look at how they write Captain Marvel or someone like that. It's like, in the Captain Marvel movie, there's a guy that hits on her, and what she does, because she doesn't appreciate the guy hitting on her, she physically assaults him and then steals his bike and jacket. That's not what a good character does. Like, they don't understand that being good, it doesn't only mean that you have a good goal. It means that the way you achieve the goal is very important. Like, for example, the Punisher, you can say, well, he's a good guy because he's killing the mafia. And he's got a code, he doesn't kill innocents, he doesn't kill cops. But the problem is that he kills people. That's not what a good character does. And you can say he's an anti-hero, but it's not a person you'd want to emulate. Like, a society where everyone takes the law in their own hands would be a collapsing civilization. So, yeah, that's the thing that I think, like, they don't know how to write good characters anymore. But that's not it. Like, the more I think about it, social justice activists and these activists, they don't know how to write a character, period. Because, and I'm saying this having read a lot of comic books, having played a lot of video games by people that claim to be into social justice, and I start to notice a pattern. If they have a black woman as a character, it's not a fictional person in a fictional world with its own fictional problems and ambitions and life goals. That's not how they treat it. That's not how they look at things. Instead, the way they look at it is that if they have a black woman in a video game, that is not a character, that's a representation. It's like a placeholder for other black women to put themselves into those shoes. And as such, it can't be treated the same way you would treat a white character or a male character. you need to be absolutely sure that this character does not suffer from flaws that would be okay for a male character to be from, right? So she can't be dumb. She can't be stupid. She's not allowed to like chicken or something like that, because these are racial stereotypes. Like here's the thing, okay? If I see an author have a Jewish character that's greedy, the way I would interpret it is like, no, that's just that character. Like, just the way a social justice activist interpreted it is like, okay, the author is anti-Semitic, and he is saying that all Jewish people are like that. Imagine having to write with that burden on your shoulders. Like, you have to write diverse characters, but you also know that every single diverse character you write, you need to treat it differently than the non-diverse ones. You need to make sure that this character doesn't fall into any racial stereotypes. You need to make sure that they don't have any huge flaws, and that makes for very uninteresting characters. I think like a good example would be how many gay people you know in TV shows. Like almost today, every single show that you watch has a gay character in it, right? How many do you know where the gay character is an abusive husband and a drunk? I mean, I don't know any, right? Maybe there are some. But if you look at straight people in TV shows, like how many straight people do you know where the husband is an abusive drunk? Now, I know a couple. And you can have an interesting growth of the character where the character begins as an abusive husband and a drunk, but over the season he has like different life changes, and it's an entire journey where he ends up being a good father and regrets his actions. Like that's something interesting. You know, the journey is what people are interested in. But the problem with these characters that are now being made is that they're perfect from the start, and they lack the journey. And because of that, it feels like they're not humans. It feels like they're too perfect, they're too good. Now, you can point out, well, hold on a little bit. If you look at Superman, he is too perfect and he is too good. And that is correct. But the thing is, like, the people around him, the people surrounding him, they go through the change. It's, you know, like society accepting him as an outsider, and his parents getting proud and overcoming their fears as he leaves the farm and he turns into some. That is what is interesting and captivating about it. But to be honest, Superman may be a bad example because I don't like him as a character that much. But still, you get what I mean. Like, this is great story writing. Like, let's take old Batman versus Batwoman from the TV show. Old Batman experienced his parents getting killed, and that traumatized him. That changed his entire life. And he wants to make sure that no other person experiences what he goes through, which is why he's fighting crime. And this is also why he doesn't kill, because even in his mind, a bad person, a villain, still has parents and still has a family that he wouldn't want them to go through what he did as a child. So he is selfless, right? He doesn't put himself on a pedestal. He doesn't care about gaining accomplishment, about people clapping that he exists. He just wants the bad guys to be afraid to commit crimes because his symbol exists. Now let's compare it to Batwoman on the TV show. What do we know about her? Well, you know, she had a very rich and meaningful life. And then her love interest gets kidnapped. So it's about her. Like, she wants to get the love interest back. It's like, okay, fine. But she just steps into the mantle of Bruce Wayne. Like, she refuses to create her own identity. She just takes his company, takes everything that he has. And then is upset when people confuse her with Batman, and she makes this claim that she doesn't want people to take credit for what a woman does. Like, she doesn't want a man to take credit for what a woman does. And you notice that she's a placeholder. She's a placeholder for women. And this story is really about women's accomplishments and how great they are, and how the men actually steal everything, and how women should rise up and steal it back from the men. And it's more like a propaganda thing. Like, the difference between art and propaganda is that propaganda makes sure that you get the message that the author wants, While non-propaganda is all about you making your own opinion. Like, is Batman a criminal? Is he not? Is he a good thing for society? Is he not? There are no such conversations in Batwoman. Okay, like in Batwoman, it's 100% clear, and there's very little character growth for her as well. So that's why the character is uninspiring and uninteresting, because actual humans don't behave like her, you know. And not only that, but if you did manage to behave like her, you'd be a villain. I mean, it's all about the ego with her, and it's all about the ego trip. The only reason she does this is to get gratification. Like, she just wants standing ovations for what she does. She's not doing this because it's the right thing. She's doing this because it inflates her ego and makes her feel good. And you'll notice like this trope throughout the entire Marvel universe right now. Like, there was even a comic book cover with Ironheart, which is the black female version of Iron Man, and she's like taking a selfie with some girl while there's press around her and everyone is clapping and everyone is applauding her and everyone is cheering her. And with Captain Marvel is the same. And you'll notice that it's almost like all these social justice writers, deep inside, they want to be that self-insert. Like, they want people to clap. They want everyone to be like, oh, so amazing. Oh, that's literally, you know, what their fantasy is about. It's about being in the center of attention. That's not a hero, though. That's not something you want to emulate. Like, the hero is the type of person that has the mantle thrust upon him, not someone that goes for the mantle. Anyway, thank you for watching, and let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the comment section.